Hello, Capricorn. Thank you for tuning in to your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the supportive oracle cards, I'm using the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Randy Valentine. I already shuffled. Let's see what we got here. Got a double card pop up. I want to go like this. Capricorn, yeah. All right. All right, let's see what we got going on here. This card I'm very apprehensive about. It's face down. But this seems to be what's ushering in this whole situation. It's face down and it's justice. Now you're going into a situation that seems like it's working out fairly. It's face down, which I really feel like this might be something when you look at it in retrospect, it may seem more fair than when it actually happens. I feel uncomfortable with this card, especially when it's face down. I'm getting like, I really kind of feel in this situation, when it's happening, I don't feel like it feels fair. It does not feel like things are fairly working out. But I'm getting like near the end of this reading, possibly, or a little ways after, you might look back and be like, you know what, all right, I understand. And it's not about liking it or not liking it. It's just, I feel like you're looking back and you're like, all right, yeah. I see how the influence is here. I see how things came into play. But when it's happening, I don't feel like this is how you're viewing it. Especially when I'm picking up this card, I'm feeling very uncomfortable with it. I'm kind of feeling it's weird because it's a card, clearly, but I want to kind of argue that it's not fair. That's my first instinct, to argue that this is not fairly working out. But the card is basically saying, yes, it is. So that, when you go into this, I feel like this is rough just for that reason alone, because if something is working out fairly but you don't feel like it is, that's a rough energy to deal with. And that's something we all go through. Unless you're already at that point where you're like, you know, I realize it's fair, I don't like it, but I just feel like this is difficult, because personally, even I want to like fight against it and be like, no, that's not fair. But they're pushing back, no, it's fair, it's the way it's supposed to be working out. Whatever the situation is. Because once it happens, see, this is another thing. I feel like this is why this is hard to agree this is fair. Because whoever else you're dealing with, I'm seeing this card with the Page of Swords, and if you look at the face on the card there, it just kind of looks a little smug, a little like I want type attitude, a little kind of gloaty. I don't think gloaty is a word. A little gloating. I don't know. And I feel like that's very aggravating. And again, this pushes me even farther to feel like it may be fair, but it doesn't feel like it, especially with that attitude coming towards me. And I feel like that's because I'm reading for the Capricorn. Like, oh, it's just kind of like, it's really annoying. It's just like, oh, I could smack you in the head for that. Because you're just like, somebody's gloating like they won out. And it's just really, it's a difficult moment here. I don't like this. I don't usually do that, because usually I'll walk away from somebody, but once in a great while, somebody can like trip a switch and be like, and it's kind of like, you know what? And I feel like that's what's happening here. If this situation is matching for you, I just feel like it's going to be one of those situations where it doesn't feel like it's working out fair. And it's kind of like somebody's taunting you about winning out. I'm getting that. But I don't feel like you let this get the best of you, because they seem to be like doing their own thing after this, and I don't feel like you're getting involved. Like, they might have their little moment with their little look or maybe a little comment, but you walk away from it. I feel like you're just kind of fed up with the situation anyway, and you know what? You're just kind of like, you know what? Whatever. Because it seems like this is, especially with the Justice card here, it's like final say has been rendered. So it's done. And you are in this moment of recovery. I don't feel like you're letting this person get the better of you, but they do annoy you. That's what I'm getting. They're kind of like whatever's going on. If something is being said, or if it's just a look, it is aggravating. But you're not letting you're not letting it get the better of you. You're just like, you know what? I've had enough with this anyway, so I'm not gonna waste more. I'm not gonna get involved with that. I feel like you're looking at this other person like, you know what? I'm not getting involved with that. Just whatever. Now, this is where, see, this, you're in a power position. Even though this is happening in the beginning, and I feel like this is rough, my instinct is to push against that and be like, it doesn't feel like it's fair, and it's annoying. It's really annoying. But you're in this mode where you're just like, you know what? What's done is done. It is what it is for now. For now. So you're in this mindset of like, all right, what can I do with what's happened? Now that, decision has been rendered, whatever that means for you, situation is where it is. What can I do with what I have left? And just one foot in front of the other, just like, you know what? I'm going to let the negativity go. I feel like you're really in that spot because I don't feel like it's, how am I going to put this? You're just not into it. You're not into the negativity anymore. It's just not worth it. And it just seems like the longer it goes, the worse it gets. So you know what? Let me just see what I can do with what I have left and just concentrate on that. And I feel like that's what you're doing. You're gathering what you got. You're learning what you can do with it. Like these are the resources I have left. This is what I have from this situation. This is what I can do with it. And you're just going forward. Whatever that means to you, you're just not concentrating on this situation for what it was. That's said and done. Whatever it was, you're walking away from it, pulling your resources, what you have left of this situation, and you're just stepping forward, best intention forward. You're really this is really a good, if this is hitting with you and this situation worked out and you're like, that was not fair, you seem to be rising above it and just you know what? I can't put my energy into that because it just gets worse. It just constantly gets worse the more energy I put into that. So let me take what I do have, what I have garnered from this, and just go make this the best I can from there. What I do have. Now this is an interesting situation because, again, I'm going to beat this to death. I'm sure. They're telling me this did work out fairly. Doesn't feel like it for some reason, but they're telling me it does. It did work out fairly. It's just the reaction to it and the upset emotions. It's not about the people involved. It's about the situation itself, the hard cold facts of it type feel. Just like the facts, no emotion involved. This is very emotionless is what I'm getting. So it worked out. You got what you needed. You're moving forward. That's great. Whatever you're doing here, and you seem to be disconnecting from the drama of it, because it feels like there's a bit of drama here. Now, the other side, I feel like it's this person, whoever this person is, they're kind of dejected from you. They're separated from you. And even though this worked out, I don't understand. I feel like fairly is a weird way to put this, but that's what they keep saying. It worked out fairly. I don't feel like one person got more than the other in this situation. They're telling me it worked out fairly. And as you're going forward and you're just accepting the changes and moving forward, not being daunted, I'm getting the other side is kind of a little despondent and they don't know how to handle this. I'm getting there's still some animosity here. And you seem to be moving on, letting it go, healing from the situation, and they seem to be there's still some animosity here. And I'm feeling they're sorting through it. I'm almost seeing they're looking at you, you seem to be doing well. You seem to be not damaged by the situation. And I almost feel like there's a problem for them with that, which is strange because the Hermit, I personally see the Hermit as a positive card. And this might be a positive thing in the long run for this person because I feel like it's a person. Because it's pulling forth these feelings because you're moving forward and they're having a hard time moving forward. Even though this worked out fairly, they seem to be having some difficulty and it's pulling the feelings up from wherever they are. It's pulling something buried deep within them. It's pulling them up because you're doing well. Especially where I feel like they're also in the beginning here feeling like they won out. But they're seeing you handle it better than them, and they're kind of a little upset about that. But this is more about them getting through it, because they don't, at this point, I don't see them coming towards you. They're just seeming to be aware of what you're doing and how you're handling it. It seems to be a problem. It seems to be a little bit of anger about that. But it's not coming out to anybody else. It's just kind of they're going through it. And I feel like you're kind of moving forward, and they're wanting to move forward and let it go too, but they're seeming to be still tied to the situation. Now, I'm getting, as things go on from here, you then have the Ace of Cups in your mindset. You are really, whatever it was from this situation, however it shook out, you're taking the positive of it, and you're really concentrating on the good part of this. You're letting go of what you have to. You're just accepting it. I feel like your acceptance of the situation is really bringing you to a place where you're comfortable, and you're just building from there. It's almost a little bit like the tower. But there's no tower here on this in this reading. I'm looking just to be sure. But like, I don't feel like it was a shock what happened back here when the Justice card was here, but you are definitely taking the situation for what it is and building from that point, and you're just making it a better situation. You're seeming to be really healing from this. You know what? Judgment was rendered, just moving on from here. I got what I got. This is what I have to work with. I'm just going to go. And you seem to be doing really, really well right here at this point. Now, the situation, this other person, whoever this other person is, they really don't want to deal with you anymore. For whatever that means for your life, this person, I feel like they don't want to deal with you anymore. And the reason for that might go a few different ways, but you have the Eight of Pentacles and they have the Seven of Swords. Eight of Pentacles is what's happening between the two of you. Is that correct? So for whatever's going on here after, whatever your dealings are that you have to deal with this person, they don't want to deal with you. And I feel like it's almost to the part where I feel like they're going to make it as distant as possible. They don't want to deal with you at all. For whatever's happening here, this other side does not want to deal with you at all. Eight of Pentacles, like, I feel like you're just handling it, you're doing your best. And it's kind of like, you know what, I'm just getting to the part where I'm going to really be, I don't think you're completely comfortable with it yet, but because of your attitude, you're kind of like, you know what, I'll get used to it, it's fine. Your attitude is really positive. Like, it's not about, I don't know, it's less about the situation and more about just letting it go. And I feel like because judgment was rendered, you're just kind of like, you know what, I'm just going to let it go and move forward with what I got. You have a very positive attitude, like a really positive attitude. I think I'm just kind of shocked because of the way I'm reacting to it, because like the way this started with not feeling that was really fair, even though it's saying it was fair. You're just really doing well. I think you're doing better than I might. I think maybe that's what I'm going for. You're doing better than what I think I would do. Now, this other person, what are they doing? Because I'm getting these last three cards, and I need to know how they connect in here. Because there's a little bit of adversity here. Because between the two of you, you have the Nine of Wands. That's usually like a survival mode, you know, doing what you have to do to protect what you have. And I'm getting like there's some problems here. I'm getting the other side is getting amped up again. And they're coming back at you, and I almost feel like they're threatening to get this situation going again in some way, like almost like to have it reviewed again or have it judged again. That like they think they should have got more out of the situation. And I feel like the reason they're feeling that way is because you're accepting it. You seem fairly happy, and because of that, they don't think this is fair. They don't think you should be happy. I'm getting that. That seems to be like the trigger on the other side. Because they're seeing you're happy, they're not thinking this worked out fairly. Because they're not happy, and they don't understand if they're not happy, how come you can be happy? I'm really getting that's how this is coming off. Now, they're coming towards you. I feel like there's like they're having like I feel like there's a freak out. There might be some words that are said. But I don't feel like you're losing control. I feel like you might be a little aggravated, but I'm also seeing like on your side you have the unlikely card. Like this is unlikely to become a problem. Whatever this person is saying to you, you're not believing what they're saying. Whatever they're threatening, you're not believing it. But the thing is, if this person just gets into a better mindset, they don't have to be upset like this. I'm getting with them, with the if you believe, like they can actually come to peace with this. And I feel like you letting it go, especially you have a very positive attitude heading up to this moment. If you're able to let it go and just let them smolder on their own, it may just push the ball back in their court and they may have to deal with their own feelings. I don't see this really becoming a problem again. As long as you keep in that mindset with a very positive attitude and you just kind of keep going and not let it be a problem. Because I feel like this can be done. Is that true? I feel like this can be done in the sense of like, you've accepted where it is, just be careful. I don't feel like you're losing your cool here though. I don't feel like you're really reacting because I think you're looking at this person like they're an opportunist and they're trying to get you to say something that would get you in trouble, but you're not going to do that. And I feel like that's one of the reasons you might be holding your tongue a little bit because you know that this person is trying to get you to say something just to cause more problems. And you're just like, you know what, it's not likely that you're going to get me to do that. And I just feel like you're disconnecting from this person. Now the more you disconnect from them and them just smolder on their own, the more likely they're just going to move on into another direction. It's up to them. It's up to them whether they can come to peace with the situation. I just feel like you're kind of seeing it differently now, especially when they seem so upset. I feel like you're looking at the situation like, you know what? It's fine. The way it worked out, I feel like at the end of this, not in the beginning, but near the end of it, I feel like you might be at the spot where you're like, you know what? I think that kind of did work out fairly. And it's weird because the other side seems to be upset. But what's egging them on is because you seem to be handling it, well, you are handling it. According to these cards, you are handling it very well. And I don't feel like they like that. That's the whole issue here. That's the whole reason that this last card pops up is what I get. Is because they're not happy that you're okay with it. That seems to be the big thing. But I don't feel like you're going to engage with this again. You seem to be holding your tongue, just pulling back because there's no win here. It's just kind of like disconnect from it, disengage, and just go on your merry way as best you can anyway, as best you can. And just let them be what they want to be. Is there anything else with that? No, I don't think so. So I feel like that's where this is going to end up. You're just going to be like, I feel like at this part here at the end, you have the ability to do that. And if you're able to do that, it's kind of advised to just let it go because it doesn't seem like it's a problem if you just let it go and just kind of hold your tongue and just walk away from it. I feel like if you don't give any information at all that you don't have to, that's where it works out best for you. Good? Good. All right, I think we're good with that. I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.